Welcome to the Dice Tower, a show all about board and card games. In this episode, Dan King and Eric Summer take a look at different board games at the GAMA trade show in Las Vegas. This show is from 2014 and talks about all the brand new games coming out. Here with our interviews is your host, Dan King.
Hello, my friends. It's the Game Boy Geek here at the Dice Tower at the GAMA Trade Show. Here with Jason Brenner, the Entertainment Brand Manager for Upper Deck.
Yes, sir.
So, how long has Upper Deck been coming to GAMA?
We've been coming here for as long as I can remember, so I'd say around 2003-ish. Yeah, a while, yeah. Not the first time of the rodeo,
No kidding. You guys are veterans here, so...
Sure.
What brings you coming back here? What's the value that Upper Deck finds?
The value for me is really easy. It's FaceTime. It's FaceTime with stores, FaceTime with consumers, people who are playing our game and buying our game and then can give us direct feedback. Invaluable.
Sure.
Yep.
Perfect. So you had a few pretty big announcements while you were here, some reveals. Would you like to sort of summarize those for the people that maybe aren't on Twitter, aren't following the news very closely, but watch our weekly videos?
Sure, absolutely. We did a lot of announcements between our two seminars yesterday and today. What we expanded on is our Alien Legendary Encounters and Alien deck building game, which we teased here last year at GAMA. There was a lot of really cool guesses because we didn't say what it was. We just showed like a new logo, and people were like, "Oh, it's it's Ghostbusters, it's Sesame Street, it's TMNT, it's something really crazy." And Sesame Street would have been rad, by the way. That would have been killer. But we announced that it was going to be Alien. People loved that as well. Don't get me wrong. So I expanded on that a lot today. Talked about gameplay, talked about just sort of what to expect when you open that box.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really cool. We also talked about some of the new licenses we have. Big announcement we made for our big reveal, if you will, was the Crow. So if you're old like me and were around in the 90s and were able to see rated R movies back then, the Crow is something we're super excited about. It's pretty rad. We have access to the entire Crow universe, so we're gonna be doing some pretty cool stuff there. First game is scheduled a year from now.
Okay.
So we are being pretty ambitious. We're not just saying we're going to do it someday. Like, we are in process.
That's cool. It's for things to come.
Absolutely. Also, everybody loves it. It's always the hit of every show I go to is Firefly. Everybody loves Firefly.
Yeah.
We're doing a dice game based on the Firefly property.
Okay.
It's going to be a very quick, fun, press your luck style dice game. Everybody seems to like what I had to say about it at our seminar. So
when you say quick and fun, how long does it take to play?
I would say you're probably looking at like 15 minutes, give or take.
And how many players does it play?
I'd say about up to 5.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah. So it's very much in theme of Firefly where, the further you go, you press your luck farther, the harder it gets, but the payoff is greater if you succeed. If you lose, you got to run from the Reapers. Reavers. It's been a long show.
Yeah, I mean, because I know that Firefly, the board game that came out last year, was from another publisher, was very popular, but a lot of people thought it was a little too long, so this may fit that.
Sure. Fair enough, and I think that other game is filling like a great spot in the heart of Firefly fans right now. And what we want to do is just bring something different to the table where people go, I love this, and now I got to have this as well to satisfy all needs. A little from column A, a little from column B.
And now back to the Legendary, the Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
What time frame do we know anything about that?
We're launching at Gen Con this year. Yeah. Announced officially at Gen Con last year. We are launching at Gen Con this year.
Perfect.
It's going to be awesome. The last thing we announced, and I don't want to leave it out because it's our flagship, if you will, is our Marvel Legendary game. We announced that we're doing a new core set revolving around villains. So instead of playing as heroes versus the bad guys, you are now playing as the bad guys trying to take down the good guys.
Wow.
It's going to be awesome.
So, and when would we think about seeing this?
June of this year.
So Gen Con at least by then, hopefully?
It'll be in June.
So even Origins around, well...
Yeah, well, hopefully for Origins, actually.
Wow.
That's a little bit ambitious,
so
but...
it's still a co-op and everyone's back, and everyone's...
It's co-op, it's a little PvP, a little co-op. I'd say in the first one was definitely a little bit more PvP, more co-op. This is actually probably flip because it's bad guy themed, there's got to be more PvP.
Right.
So this is definitely going to be a lot more PvP centric, definitely still some co-op to try to win the game, but bad guys don't want to help each other out. They all want to win. So
now, is there going to be any possibility of mixing the two together and having them kind of fight each other?
Yes, you should still be able to mix them. There's always going to be some level of compatibility issues when you take two different things and you put them together. They may not work perfectly all the time, but there's certainly compatibility is always an issue that we take into account when we're designing this. Yeah?
Jason, thank you so much.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.